It's Tuesday, and I'm trying to post things that kind of lighten up and make us laugh a little bit. But I also want to talk about how you're doing in your career, your job, your situation, what you're going through, because all of us want success. All of us want to be happy and content with our life and get to a point where we're not struggling, stressing, striving, going through difficulty, drama, you name it. And so today I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about a book that I think everybody should read, but I'm not going to show it to you just yet. But I have kind of an outline I wrote down of what I think most of us need, and if possible, start in high school, even junior high. But most of us in junior high just are not thinking about the future. Even high school students, they don't think enough about 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road. Some of them do, and the ones that do, the ones that already know what their path is and what they want to do, those are the lucky ones. Those are usually the 1%ers, because as soon as they get out of high school, they've already started probably, and they're hitting the ground running as to what they want to do or where they want to get to. And I think it's critical for kids, if you've got kids in high school, or if you are in high school, you need to nail down what you want to do in your future for a living. I know you're concerned with your grades and your homework and all that stuff. You got to do that. But take about 1 hour a day to sit down by yourself alone and just sit there and think, what do you want to do for a living? Because you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. If not, you're going to be stuck in survival mode like I was, and you're going to drift from job to job to job to job, and that is constant stress. You don't want that. You want a specific thing you're shooting for and a specific industry you want to work in, and you need to be crystal clear and down to the precise details of what you want to do. And for a lot of people, including myself, when I was in high school, I couldn't do that. I couldn't think clearly enough to see the specifics. I had a kind of a vague idea of what I wanted to do, but I really didn't know. And that, for some people who wonder why they have to go through school and all this BS at school, basically one of the things that school is for is to expose you to different subjects and different things that you might become interested in. So the other thing is, when you have a goal and you want to do a particular thing, say you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a dentist, you don't like academic stuff, so you want to be in construction, or you want to be a musician, you want to do a gaming company, etc. Things that you have in your heart and in your mind, I beg you and urge you not to tell anybody. Don't tell your parents, your family, don't tell your friends, because you're going to find out in the long run your friends are not your friends. And don't tell anybody what you are trying to do, or what you're going for, or what you're working toward. Don't tell a single person, unless you have a mentor who's on your side and they're an older person like myself, or somebody that you can go to at school, like a teacher or a professor or somebody like that. If you have somebody like that that you can trust, you can tell them, you can bounce it off them. Otherwise, do not tell your plans to anybody. Because what happened to me and what's going to happen to you is everybody and everything, seems like, is going to come against it. It's going to come against you. They don't want you to succeed because they're not succeeding. So misery loves company. They want you to be down where they are. They don't want you getting ahead of them. They don't want you growing more than them and leaving them. They want you to stay right where you are, right where they like you, you know. So here's a book that I want to suggest that I wish I would have had in junior high and high school. If somebody would have put this book in front of me and told me to read this after school and don't tell anybody about this. Just, if you can find this particular book in a library, or if you can find a used one, or if you have the money to buy a new one, get this book. And it's by Jack Canfield, and it's called The Success Principles. And I'll show it on here. I don't know if the camera is going to focus on that. And forget the fact that he's a white guy with a suit on and he looks like a CEO or something like that. Forget about skin color. Forget about appearances. Forget about all that stuff. Just forget it. Just read this book like it was meant just for you, because it is. And it's got things in here. This book has the first half of this book has things in it that make me mad. Why do they make me mad? Because nobody, when I was growing up, told me about this stuff. Nobody. They're not going to teach you this in school. They're not. I guarantee you, they're not going to teach you this in school. And nobody, when you get out in the workforce, is going to teach any of this to you. They're going to try their best to keep you down so they can get ahead of you. And I don't want that for you guys. I want you to be successful. I want you to be happy and successful and do what you love to do. That's why I urge you not to tell a single person. Quietly go about your aim and your goal, what you want to do. The other critical part of this is your health. Everything starts with health. I was born with a plethora of health problems, bad DNA. Just one of the things that you are going to have to face and get used to is if you really want to be a success, if you want to be a millionaire 10 years from now, you're going to have to build a routine that you can live with, and you're going to have to put in 16-hour days, sometimes 20-hour days to get it done. And it is one of the main things that stopped me in my life was my health problems. And there's a guy on YouTube now who I watched go from nothing to being a multimillionaire in about 10 years. And at the time he started his channel, I wish I would have started a channel, because he hit it right at the right moment. It was back in about 2004 to 2006. YouTube was just starting to catch on, and this guy pounced on it. He pounced on YouTube and he started selling everything he could. He started getting sponsors anywhere he could. He started selling everything from bathroom stuff to deodorant to hair products. And there are things that fit your personality that only you feel good with. And I want you to learn how to build a routine and set goals, and start in high school. Parents, if you're hearing this and your kids are in high school or junior high, start them as soon as possible and kind of have them read this book at their leisure, and tell them just to read it for fun. Don't be forced to read it. Just Do it on your spare time. I wish I would have had that book when I was growing up, because nobody, not my parents, not my teachers, not my friends, not anybody was telling me these principles and how to go about life. And that's all I wanted to talk to you about today is getting on the road to success, because I see too many of us struggling, and I don't want you to struggle. I don't want you to get caught in the survival mode corporate America trap. And sometimes it's not avoidable. When you're poor, you don't have anything, you have to do what you have to do. You have to go to work for somebody else until you can gather enough momentum and resources to finally escape out of that prison. And I want to be a guy who helps you do that. I want to be someone you bounce ideas off of. I may know of resources online that you might not know of, and you might know of things that I don't know of. The last thing I want to leave you with is never, ever, ever, and I know you've heard this from other people before, but just don't ever give up. Never. That is not an option. Not on my watch. It's what my older sister used to say. So don't quit. Don't give up. Failure is part of the process, and I want you to learn how to be comfortable with the process. Just expect it. Expect some failures along the way. But you have to concentrate on your goal, your future, and you have to keep that in mind. And then you have to ask yourself, what did this failure teach me? What did I learn out of this debacle that I just went through? So, my name is Ed. I'll be here on Tuesdays. This channel is just kind of a general life channel, and a channel that I want to make for you so we can get you to where you need to go. Get you from where you're at to where you want to be. But until then, I will see you on Tuesday.